Garden MacGyver here. Today I'm going to talk to you about fertilizers. I'm going to give you a crash course in fertilizers, what fertilizers to use, and why it's important to choose these fertilizers. Um, Basically, in your fertilizer numbers, you have three numbers. You have nitrogen, you have phosphate, and you have potassium. Now, the one that everybody is so obsessed over is nitrogen. Everybody wants big, beautiful, bushy, neon green tomato plants, whatever kind of plants they are. They want it to glow in the dark, it's so green. The problem with that is that by providing excess nitrogen, what you're really doing is you're making your plants sick. Because what you're doing is, unless you're growing leaf lettuce, nitrogen does not need to be as high as it is in a lot of these fertilizers out there. So what often happens, like for example, in tomatoes, um, people will go out and they'll buy, it'll say super duper vegetable fertilizer. Um, but if you look at the numbers, the first number uh, on the number chain there is nitrogen. So nitrogen helps leaves and stems grow. So what happens is it'll be like 22, 8, 16. And you'll put it down. It'll make your plant grow super fast. I mean, it'll get tall quick. And then all of a sudden, it bears late, doesn't put off that much, and it's more susceptible to disease and bugs because of the excess nitrogen, especially sap suckers like stink bugs and other things that like nectar. But anyway, what a lot of people don't realize is by getting fertilizers high in nitrogen, they're actually working against themselves rather than for. Now, I will tell you that the most important fertilizer is the next number. It's phosphate. Phosphate is the most important ingredient in your fertilizers. If I say it once, I'll say it a million times. I can't stress it enough. The higher the phosphate, the bigger the yields, the more healthier the plant is. Phosphate basically controls your root and your fruit. So the higher the phosphate, the better your plant will produce. If there's not enough phosphate, then your plant's not going to produce that much. And the third number is potassium. Potassium basically, what it is, it's like stress. It helps stress. If your plant gets hurt, injured, the growing conditions are not ideal, it helps stress. So you have your first number nitrogen, second number phosphate, third number potassium. Okay, the way that I like to tell people to remember it, when you're looking at those three numbers on the package to your fertilizers, you have three numbers. You have nitrogen, phosphate, potassium. Okay? See how the middle number is up high? See how this number right here, nitrogen, you want between, I'd say 8 and 10. You don't want to go any higher than 10 on your nitrogen. So what you want is this middle number to be as high as possible. 12 is good, but it's bottom of the line in my book. And 12 is good also because it helps with stress. So you got leaves, nitrogen, phosphate, root and fruit, and third number is potassium, stress. So the way you look at it is leaves, nitrogen, phosphate, root and fruit, and potassium, stress. So you got leaves, root and fruit, and stress. You need to pick out anything that is high in phosphate. And be generous with it, especially because your nitrogen's not going to be that high. So what's going to happen is only going to help you. I mean, in a planting hole, I typically put 2 handfuls of fertilizer per planting hole. You mix it around, but that is basically what is going to benefit you the most. And the reason why a lot of people lack in success, I mean, it's not just soil structure, this is just fertilizer we're talking about, but is because they buy those fertilizers that are high in nitrogen and not that high in phosphate. So, you have rapid growth, but you have no fruit, or you get very little. Um, the other thing I'd like to stress too is you need to use lime. Okay, lime. A lot of people use powdered lime. I prefer the pelletized because the pelletized lime, um, it absorbs better and it also disintegrates better, so the plant can use it. I mean, that lime, powdered lime, will cake up. It'll clump, and it doesn't do nothing. The pelletized lime dissolves much, much better. It also provides the plant with calcium. Now, we all know what it's like to go out and you look at a nice, beautiful tomato. It's all red on top. It looks great. You go to pull it off the vine and it's black. That's called blossom end rot. And it's due to lack of calcium. So in my planting holes, when I'm planting, I'll put 2 handfuls of fertilizer and 2 handfuls of lime. That way you have enough calcium to provide for your larger yields. So that's basically it on fertilizer. This is Garden MacGyver signing out.